Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to be playing some more kind of mono red. I typically like to categorize this mono red, but it is technically gruul aggro, but obviously our primary cards are the red ones that typically do a ton of damage. We just have some value green cards and a Pawpatch Recruit and a Snakeskin Veil, and then we have the 4 Innkeepers and 2 Questing Druids. This list is actually derived from a best of 3 list currently going on. It should be the finals today of the Arena Championship being streamed on Twitch, but this is one of the few kind of gruul-ish aggro decks that were on there. I didn't end up gathering the sideboard. I was kind of rushed for time. If it tells you anything, it is 3:41 in the morning. I've yet to go to bed, so I'm pretty tired overall. But this is what we're playing. It is primarily a aggro deck, and we're going to see how well it can do in the best of 1 ladder. Depending on the Arena Championship, there will typically be posts of the deck list everywhere. So if you want good best of 3 decks where the kind of the top end players are playing them, that's definitely a way to check it out. They'll be live on Twitch, or you can catch the past broadcasts on there. They might be live on YouTube. I don't know, but I typically watch on Twitch whenever I do watch, especially when we're at the store working. We add it up on the screen. But what are we doing? Well, it's a typical game plan for us. We're using Heartfire Hero and abusing it. Higher Claw is the other 1-drop, as these are probably single-handedly the best 2 1-drop creatures that red/green can be playing in an aggro shell, because Higher Claw is 2 damage a turn for 1 mana that can grow, and then this 1 mana can just now deal 3 damage a turn, and then 4 damage a turn. You get something like a Monstrous Rage on there. Obviously, it's getting much larger, grows out of cut down range very quickly. Then we have Heartfire Hero. Sure, we know what that card does. I don't think we need to talk about it anymore. 2 value cards into Pawpatch in case these things get targeted, just also giving us another 1-drop creature that has pretty good value. And there's no point playing 1 Monastery Swiftspear. You just play something that generally provides more value in that slot, because if we do draw it late in the game, we can make 2 of them. So that's much better than a 1 of Swiftspear with no spells to cast. But we also have Snakeskin Veil as protection. We want to be very careful on how we use this. Got to prioritize using it well. And then we have 4 Monstrous Rage, best in slot whenever we're wanting to grow a creature pretty massively, and Burst Lightning so we can kick later. We do have a little bit more lands than normal. We're on 22 instead of something like 20 or 19. And then we are in the 2 mana slots where we do have value cards all over the place, but Emberheart Challenger and Manifold Mouse giving double strike or trample, and Emberheart giving us a lot of value. Works incredibly well with Innkeeper's talent, as you'll see in one of the games today. Other than that, we are playing 2 Questing Druids. I talk about how I play Questing Druid in Burn, and I find it to be a very good, valuable card. Same is true here, but we are more likely to cast it and pump it later. Then we have Scorching Shot, just another way to answer the kind of big 5/5 demons or Shielders or things like that we need to get out of the way. Obviously in best of 3 they're able to cut this card, so if it's bad and you find it bad, obviously you can replace it. Maybe play 3 Swiftspears and cut the Pawpatch, or play more Pawpatches, up to you personally, especially if you're playing best 1. And then we're loaded up on 4 Screaming Nemesis. This is kind of the counter to a lot of decks on its own. It's like playing a main board Rest in Peace against Reanimate decks in a way. You want to think about that, but it is very good. Very, very good. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and dive into the games. We're shooting for Diamond today. I don't think I spoiled whether I'm Diamond or not right now. We get very, very close, and we fight to try to get in. So we'll see if we actually end up hitting there with this today, and let's go into the games. If you all enjoy my content, consider subscribing. Truly helps out the channel a ton. Oh boy. Opponents first, but we have the hand to keep for sure. You just like start with a hero, hold up a veil for like the entire game. Arguably we should just wait, but like, this is blue-eye control. They're most likely not firing it. Get lost off on the hero. They might, maybe would be less likely to if I would have just played a mountain, but you know me. Yeah, here we are. I gain a little life here. Interesting. Now do I go for the Emberheart Challenger? That could fall right into a temporary lockdown, but then I lose like the hero anyway. It feels like I should just get in there. Get in while the getting's good, right? Then after that, use the Challenger, put like 5 damage of pressure on board. They opt for a Plains here. Discarding a land. Here comes another. Wrath of the Skies, definitely possible. This does not give Indestructible. So I'm going to go with 1, just because we do have like a Screaming Nemesis and stuff. Closest turn. I have a really bad feeling that I'm going to get board wipe next turn, so I am just going to cash in. I just think like board wipe's coming. I'm gonna cash in, get him down to 10, and maybe opt for a Screaming Nemesis if we hit a land. If not, obviously we'll just play the Challenger. Yeah, they stay at Judgment. I say Wrath, but it's stay at Judgment. Burst Lightning. I mean, you could argue maybe we do just play the Nemesis and attack him with it because it is more expensive. And it does technically do more damage, and now they're like at 6, and then like Burst Lightning can make it where they can't gain any more life potentially. But the other great part about hitting the land. Yeah, especially with Clay Fire Bricks coming down. They haven't had anything for 3. They played a Surveil land and then a Clay Fire Bricks. So we should be pretty well on our way to know that they don't really have much. Maybe a counterspell here. Combat. We have 7 damage here. What is the mode we pick? Pretty positive I'd like to do this. Like to make sure they can no longer gain life, and they're going to end up taking 3 here, which makes Burst Lightning or other like burn spells pretty well lethal. They're taking 3 guaranteed. If they obviously block the Screaming Nemesis, it doesn't really work well, because then they take 6 and they die. Okay, they take 6 and they die. All right. And also rely on your opponent to make a mistake. Maybe their top card actually wasn't anything. They just did top bottom, didn't care. The game was over to them. So definitely possible. So move on. Oh boy, this is definitely a risky hand for sure. Cards that don't really interact with the board outside of targeting a higher claw, and if it just gets cut down, it feels really bad. Blue black being really popular as of late, being the best of 3 deck for sure. I mean, I'm gonna establish this in. We're never really gonna likely play double Monstrous Rage. We'll just end up playing this Restless Ridgeline next anyway. Our claw gets shot down. Maybe we'll see a deep cavern bat or something here. Might just be a quick game overall for our opponent. The Squirming Emergence combo, and they had to cut down, which is probably like a 2 of. It's fine. But they miss. I mean, kind of miss. They like don't miss, but they do miss. We hit at least. The best card in this matchup, of course, is Screaming Nemesis. I don't really care if they put Natraxa in play. If it blocks a Screaming Nemesis, they'll gain that 7 life, and then we will shoot them for 7, causing us to like pick up a lot of damage there. Pick up that damage back, so they'll never like technically gain any life. They'll stay at neutral, but then they can't gain life anymore that game, which makes like a second Screaming Nemesis swinging into like a Valgavoth or something really devastating. We'll see what happens. Maybe there's a Virtue. Maybe it's another cycle here. Squirming Merchants on a Virtue, I guess. Okay. Playing that land's like a punt. Just a little too quick on the draw there. Do this and just hope it's like a Burst Lightning or something, not a land. Okay, it's a card I can't really play anyway. So I guess I'll just bop them for... I guess I just cash again. Just another situation where I think it's just like get the damage in. What do? They bring back like a Higher Claw? Or like a Prankster, I guess? Virtues feels a little underwhelming. Right? Like that's a 1/3. Just like kills it. We also have a Searing Shot to move whatever we need out of the way. Or Scorching. I keep saying Searing Shot, but Scorching Shot. Well, Cut Down can't be cast. It's now gone permanently. Obviously, Squirming Emergence. They could have cast it, maybe targeted the Picklock Prankster if they don't have another one, but obviously they have 2 in their hand as well. So we've seen all 4 Pranksters. That's kind of interesting. But obviously they're not going to bring back that because it doesn't have the toughness to necessarily absorb here. So it's like screwed if you do, screwed if you don't. Maybe a better Triumph here. I'm gonna play a Nemesis. I do have a second one. But that means like my Emberheart Challenger just gets stick. Maybe they kill my Nemesis. Maybe they counter it and then they have like the Virtue to bring back the Nemesis. But if I lose that kind of life damage, I don't really care. Just took a draw. 'Cause We clicked the wrong mode? I feel like that had to be a wrong mode click, right? Okay. 5 damage target creature. I can just like shoot my own nemesis, I guess. It is sorcery. Best draw possible here is a land, actually. Alright. Oh, cut down's not like possible, right? So combat. Swing. Be a bounce spell, I guess. Is a bounce spell. Okay. Yeah, I guess not playing the other Screaming Nemesis was quite the punt, huh? I don't know why I didn't do that. Like, I honestly, it's because I keep forgetting this is a sorcery speed spell. Like, definitely a big punt for me. But now I can put in a Traxa, find a lot of answers. Maybe a lot of answers. There's a Virtue they can cycle on for 2, get rid of the Nemesis. Oh boy. It's so annoying to make that type of a play whenever it's just like obviously it was entirely my mistake. Maybe we get lucky. Maybe we luck sack out. Who knows? Here. Just want to make sure that they tap out on like a counter spell. Want to see if they do anything, and then we're going to fire off the Burst Lightning. Yeah. Or we do 7. Obviously, it's always inclined that we should just go for it now. And I guess it's like so weird. We'll try. The only counterspell that works is like a 2-mana one. We saw 3 steps ahead. I did not play that well. It's one of the problems of playing super late at night. It is currently 3 in the morning. So yeah, I might not be playing my best. I'm so used to when I play Screaming Nemesis, every spell I have, like Witchstalker Frenzy there, for example, was like a card that's instant speed. But I had the 1 sorcery speed spell in mono red, and I'm like, oh yeah, that I can't cast that at instant speed, even though I called out that it was a sorcery earlier. All right, we go first here. Very cool. We have like the combo, if you would. Definitely good. They maul once, which is even better. Typically means they have to give up something, which typically means obviously they hold removal or they're aggro themselves, maybe also mill. I think I brought it up last time, like a very long time ago. Anybody remember playing on these as a kid, or currently have one for their kid? Those things massaged my brain, that's for sure. Gave it a good, give me a good head rub. I would like to do double strike, and I would like to hit for 4. Maybe it gets exiled. We see a Boros land that enters. Are we gates? Yeah, I was just say, if we're actually, I just realized it was a gate. I was like, I don't think we have a chance here. Unfortunately for our opponent, like being on the draw against us and playing only tap lands for the first 3, 4, 5 turns until we find a Spelunking is not going to get you there. Opponent first, and wow, oh wow, is our hand something to be desired for sure. I want to play the tap land, but I just don't feel like I can. I'll prioritize this guy. We'll play this tap land probably 4th in our rotation, depending what happens in the match. If they put a creature in the way, this definitely feels like if it's mono white and it's our only play, like Sometimes you just have to value your human life total over the game's life total, and I'm just okay. It was like a bad keep regardless, and I just kind of like snapped it off. I was like, you know, maybe if they're aggro, we can burst lightning, we can scorching shot, something like that. It's going to be mono white control. We have 0 chance with that many creatures in hand. I'll just move on. All right, same situation pretty much, but without removal. But I do have a couple more creatures. We'll try. Honestly, Questing Druid wouldn't be too bad to get on off the ground. Is this actual fairies, or is this just like mono black playing the Fairy Dream Thief? Who knows? I feel like it is the former or the latter. I don't remember what order I actually set it in. Just fairies, or is it mono black deck playing fairy? Yeah, so it's the latter. I'll take one. I took my one. Well, good card. Go for Innkeeper talent here. Set up like the slow pacing card in comparison to like what they got going on. Most likely just holding removal, as you can kind of tell. There's like no pause. Obviously, Heartfire Hero, definitely like a target. It's blue black. They also milled over another basic swamp. That's kind of crazy. Okay, now we play this basic. We could obviously go for Screaming Nemesis here, but we throw up Manifold Mouse here. Kind of hide our Heartfire Hero, maybe. Play it now. Manifold Mouse dying here. Honestly, what we'll probably end up doing with the Innkeeper's talent, depending if they remove anything, Innkeeper's talent will probably target Manifold Mouse after Manifold Mouse targets Hero. Because they're both at like the beginning of combat kind of thing, I believe. And Heartfire Hero will get a counter regardless. Could put it to 3, but that doesn't make a lot of sense because then both my creatures are vulnerable. Manifold Mouse was just a Monstrous Rage, does a ton of damage as well. They're kind of trying to decide, which could mean one of two things. Could mean like their hand doesn't have as many, or they just tanked for a really long time to just kill both creatures. Okay, like I guess. I was just like, I don't know what the tank was for. Like, you could've just done that regardless, big dog. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't have to wait for that. Here. Could have maybe just held and did Questing Druid, but I keep rocking my whole desk. You gonna like look at your cards for 4 minutes and then remove my creature this time, or what? It's there. I'm tapped out. You can, yeah, there you go. I just don't get it sometimes. They stared at both of them. We're like, do I kill these creatures or do I not? Who knows? But honestly, this map, even if it is a creature on top or a effect on top, okay, there's that counter spell. They leave it on top. All right. Maybe they have one in hand and they're looking to kind of like prioritize that. I'm going to probably go looking for a Questing Druid here. Force that counter spell out on the instep. It's up to 3. I could just... No, I want to cycle it and then try to get a Screaming Nemesis into play. Now above cut down range, obviously could use like an anoint here, exile it, or whatever removal spell they have left. Really, I don't think it's Kaito. I think they would have done that already, but I could be wrong, obviously. Yeah, I don't think it's Kaito. Fire off this. Definitely a card that's like, I would slap a removal or a counter spell on Questing Druid's forehead. 0 chance I let that resolve. That's 3 cards. In a matchup that we find that the grind factor is going to matter a ton. Especially in a situation like this. You want me to draw 3 cards? That was good. I know Questing Druid only flips 2, but then we get to cast the other side of Questing Druid, so it's kind of both. I would play Nemesis. No hesitation here. Nemesis is free to remove. Heartfire Hero most likely wants to be removed by an anoint. But if I keep growing it, like, it's just such a devastating creature like this in general. Our pace picks up a ton. That's 11. We'll definitely have it next turn with Monstrous Rages if they don't have anything. If they leave creatures back, their hand's vulnerable. If they attack, they feel confident enough to maybe answer one of these things. Or maybe they're trying to keep the tempo on. Because obviously, like, we have one creature. I'm going to opt for a second Screaming Nemesis here. And I'm going to start spreading the love a bit. Like, I'll do the Nemesis here. Then we attack. No pause. They played a land, which they have not played yet. Monstrous Rage. I think that's going to cover it. Okay. It's like one of the situations when somebody's hand that gets really low down, you can almost guess what they have. Like, of course, that last card, we don't know exactly what it is, but they also hadn't played a land for a couple of turns. So as soon as they drew that land and played it, the same card was in hand. Unless they've been baiting a land the entire time and just haven't played it the entire time, which some players will do that because that's a smart thing to do. At times, obviously, depending on what's in your deck. But here, like, as soon as they drew a land, they ended up playing it, which told us that this is the same card that's been in their hand probably this entire time, that this problem has existed. And obviously, they need to get rid of this. They need to get rid of this. And then this just kind of came in, right? Like, there's a lot of problems on board that are presented, and then they play a land, so we know we're pretty much, like, open to do whatever. So it's a weird spot for sure. But at first, Higher Claw, Innkeeper, Burst Lightnings. This is like the kind of the hand we talked about 2 games ago. Honestly, more than anything. But this is turned on. No removal for this right away in the Golgari deck. It could be Squirming, but I think it's just Golgari. Maybe Anoint comes in. Using a higher mana spell here is a little telling for us, obviously. That means maybe cut down in the future is not there. So Innkeeper Talent's obviously going to be good. I'm going to prioritize playing 2 and just get them really cooking. Just so any creature is just like a super duper threat. Unholy Annex, while at 20, is actually really bad. Another land hit might as well just sign their death certificate. Unholy Annex, be unable to get. Obviously, Scorching Shot can kind of clean anything up that's on board. And these are going to make any creature huge. So it's a little weird. All right. A little less able to do that. And another land, bro. No way. That's actually super devastating, and this is a sorcery, so we have to do it now. I think we're just going to lose the game. It's just an unkeepable hand. Like, I feel like oftentimes with how many creatures we have in our deck, it should just be fine, but we fall short. I think they missed a land. I would assume that that's what they found, because I figured they would play land and activate chamber, but maybe they didn't have one. Thankfully, we find a creature. So now we get to play this Challenger. It'll overgrow this Dread Knight, going all the way up to 4 now. Attack, of course. And then we'll just play, obviously, the other one. Could obviously hold up, like, the Burst Lightning, but I'm going to use my value while I can. There obviously could be a board wipe, but with these, as you just seen, like, now this is threatening to be a 6/6, or if I level this up because I just have a Burst Lightning and unfortunately hit another land, now the counters are getting doubled. They take another cycle here. They need to find a demon to play. It's like they have 8-ish cards in hand. Actually, we can just look. They do have 8 cards in hand. My webcam's a little in the way there. Recommended to move it down here in the bottom, but it immediately covered up these, so I was kind of like, I don't know about that. All right, we unfortunately find another land. We move to combat. We target here. We target here. We take 2 draws. Innkeeper's Talent, another land. Do this. Go for this on this. We got 10 damage on the board. And then I get to play another mountain. Keeper Talent obviously gone. Our last card is a land. And it's just like one of the things where it's like, did our opponent have nothing? Because I feel like there shouldn't be a way we ever win this game. There's a go for the throat. That ward 2 is going to pretty much ensure that our other creature lives. This cut down can't target it. They only have 3 mana. They can obviously, I guess, play a Mosswood to block. But at some point, we hopefully got to find Trample, right? Or just like cover the story up. Also, for anybody thinking like about the Burst Lightning going face, definitely could not there. I don't know what we'll draw, so we're obviously going to target, see what we do wheel. Screaming Nemesis, you rat, bro. They just don't even want to deal with it. And lucky for us, even though we get the Screaming Nemesis, like, the best part about Nemesis here is, first of all, they could have played a demon and gained a little bit of life, but this is just going to be an ever-growing problem. But Snakeskin Veil being able to protect our creature. Also, how did we win that game? Like, realistically, if you've played an aggro deck and that's how that start came out, most likely you're never winning that game. Alright, going first here. This is definitely like a questionable hand because our creatures are kind of soft. We're going to definitely give it a shot, I think. We get to play the Verge. We get to cycle the Druid on that second instep. And we are on the play, so we can kind of afford to take this kind of play, I think. And depending what the matchup is, Screaming Nemesis are obviously always good. Maybe it's mono white control, which definitely sucks. But just what's going to happen. No protection spell, really. So I am going to prioritize the Questing Druid. If this is mono white. Oh, yeah. Oh, wait. Mono white auras. Okay. Little bit different. Obviously, we have things like Sheltered by Ghosts that are going to be a little bit frustrating to deal with. Do find a Heartfire Hero. We get to play Questing Druid. Play this land, play a Heartfire Hero. And then grow our Questing Druid. And now we still have these like 6 awesome cards in hand. And what's really scary for a Scavenger is a Screaming Nemesis and a Scorching Shot or something like that I can kind of help deal extra damage. Just obviously that Shelter by Ghost. This land can be used in order to pay the ward cost that I can cover here. Hopefully they do not hit the card. They do not. I just take the damage. And again, this could be used for colorless. As much as it sucks, I have to get this off the board. No land hit. The land hit here is huge for us. We do this, then we resolve, then we obviously auto pay, and Questing Druid comes back, which makes obviously our hand is kind of slow. But if that's all they had, maybe no more creatures. Obviously, they might have another creature, but they do not, and we kind of prioritize that. And if you don't know what I mean by that, it's okay. I get it. Now, am I supposed to play one at a time? I feel like the answer is yes. Honestly, just an untap like Force would be fantastic. This is my only issue with this card in terms of best of one is like being on the play here. Obviously, we capitalize a ton if we're able to just curve out. It feels a little bit tough to curve out whenever that's kind of the way it goes down. But getting to play a Higher Claw is a 1/2, and it does automatically deal damage, especially if they play a 1/1 or something. Maybe it gets cut down here, and then obviously we get a better card going for us. Screaming Nemesis is going to be huge in this matchup, so I definitely want to prioritize getting it down on the battlefield. We definitely play this tapped. We play this Higher Claw, or not the Higher Claw. We play the Heartfire Hero, attack with the Higher Claw. Then we look to get Screaming Nemesis down, but I really only want to get it down if that does result in me being able to hit it with a Burst Lightning and shut off this kind of life gain, card draw shenanigans, which obviously Monstrous Rage is the generic pick here. Like, it's kind of what you would want to take, but Screaming Nemesis is the forced take. Scorching Shot can kind of always be fired off here, so I definitely don't really want to prioritize doing it. I guess I go for the Challenger here. Don't need to target the Challenger. I'm definitely attacking. What's the plan? Nothing. Yes, they could have exile effects. Monstrous Rage does suck here a little bit, but I definitely want to go for the Heartfire Hero to make it deal the most damage. It also then stays at a 3/3, so cut down can't answer. They have to kind of anoint this creature to get the value away. They are at 9, so this blocker is not going to be relevant. This is only for creatures. Sure. Now that's going to be a big creature. I can definitely shoot it out of the way. We might find a solution. Oh, tough couple hits here for sure. A land hit. This is 4 mana. Three counters would get moved, huh? Trying to think of what to do. That'd be 3. That would be 6. That'd be 7, 8, 9 damage. I'm actually such a hard spot. This creature's so good here. Obviously, I want to get rid of this, but I just can't, like, can't quite do that. Then that gets 3 counters and it's a 4/4 lifelinker. I hate everything about this. Let's fire it off here, I guess. Do not like it whatsoever. I just have to let that creature be huge and hopefully they maybe like don't take a damage and they make a mistake on it. Right? That's kind of my goal. Now, if obviously I had the Screaming Nemesis on curve without that Deep Cavern Bat being super annoying, then we'd be much happier. But just being able to play this on turn 1, Deep Cavern Bat, no answer for us, and then get to play like Chandler while also having another 1-drop that was probably in hand from the beginning, but they prioritized the case. Is a pretty good play. Screaming Nemesis, obviously this deck's nightmare. Now, if they Shelter by Ghost, this Chandler is just over. That's what they're thinking about. Make sure they tap the village for it, though. Having an Orzhov land typically is best. Door line, 2 bats attacking, gain 2, gain 3. That's going to go up. Oh, I'm surprised it didn't attack from Chandler. Maybe just like really using it as a defender. Another land here is tapped. I think this game's just shocked. We'll just move on. All right, that's all the time I have for the video today. Unfortunately, we were 1 tick away from hitting Diamond, and at that point, playing mono red, prowess aggro kind of nonsense, and running right into the deck that says the only deck I want to see on ladder is the aggro decks. I'm the life gain deck, and I struggle to beat a lot of matchups, but obviously we are their kind of primary target outside of Screaming Nemesis, obviously. So we miss it. That's okay. So we move on. We try to get it tomorrow, and we just go from there. Maybe we'll try some Golgari or something. With that said, it's pretty good overall. It's being played in the kind of Arena Championship right now, or probably when you're watching this, Arena Championships live right now. It's probably live on both YouTube and Twitch. So if you want to see some best of 3, like high-level gameplay from a lot of players that play a ton, I think there was 2 people playing each other yesterday that had 25,000. No, it was 25,000 matches on Arena in best of 3 ranked ladder. That's a lot of matches. So if you're saying like, I don't know, on average each game is, and we're talking best of 3, by the way. If you're saying each game is, I don't know, let's say 10 minutes. Fair enough. That's 250,000 minutes. Let's divide that by 60 for an hour. That is like 4,000 hours to play. If you're saying your best 3 matches last 10 minutes, that is 4,000 some hours played. But Arena has been out for quite a long time, and the people obviously play Magic the Gathering professionally and get paid to do so. So like, obviously this is their job. They put a lot of time into their job. It's just kind of funny when you do the math. You're like, that's a lot of hours. But this is what we're playing. This is what we played. It was pretty fun. It was being played in best of 3. I did not have the sideboard for it, but this is the kind of main board for that deck. And it's super fun. Rock Village being kind of a questionable card in best of 1, but obviously good enough to be played in best of 3, as it's less relevant. Kind of like when it hurts, you have game 2 and 3 to rely on. But outside of that, I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.